Hey, Darius. Hey, Bernard.
Hi, Queen.
Hello.
Lovely to see you, family.
Always great to see you.
Okay, let's get right
Likewise.
into it. Darius, let me start with you. Remind us again why HIV is such a prevalent issue in 2022, especially for Pinellas County.
Queen, I feel like we've been here before. but
I know, right? But we can't say it enough, clearly.
yes, deja vu. So Pinellas County, we've seen disproportionate increases in our acquisition of HIV cases for the past several years, particularly with our young Black men um, in the age range of, let's say, our teenage years, kind of 16 up to about 29. And then we've seen some increases also in our 29 to 39 year age group. And Pinellas County was named as one of 7 counties in Florida with a substantial burden of HIV in the community.
Yeah. Bernard, we acknowledge National Youth HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, and it was a day to educate the public about the impact of HIV and AIDS on young people. Now, the day also highlights HIV prevention and treatment and care campaigns of young people in the US. So tell us what USF Pediatrics has done to educate young people surrounding their sexual health.
So we try to approach it different ways. Working with young people, we know that we have to do a different approach versus our older people. So social media, of course, is going to be one of the big push on education and awareness about HIV. So of course we did some TikToks, we done some awareness campaigns focusing around PrEP, as well as not just PrEP, but people who are living with HIV continuing in care or re-engaging in care, because sometimes we take time out and be like, okay, we got other priorities. So we try to push the encouragement back on taking control over your health, and not just HIV, but health across the board, especially with COVID out there. We want all of our young people just to be aware of health and taking charge, just as is important for everything else. So utilizing your all of our different approaches, whether it's traditional style or non-traditional style, whether it's being at the clubs late at night to pass out just a simple condom with our information, or just having conversation through text messages. We try to utilize any and every type of approach just to reach our young people.
That's right. And the thing is that health is so important that things can be right in your life, but if your health is not good, it ain't good.
Right.
Yeah. Darius, can you tell us more about the new cases of HIV in Pinellas County on our youth?
So Pinellas County saw new incidences of HIV acquisition among our 0 to 19-year-olds by 25% in 2019. That's a big increase for that population. Additionally, 1 in 4 cases are in the age group of 20 to 29 years old. These 2 age groups account for almost half of the new cases of HIV in the county.
Wow. And Bernard, can you tell me about some of the work that USF has done in the community with EHE?
So we have been blessed to work with the Department of Health ending the HIV epidemic with a special project that we started last year, which was called Project Shop Talk, where we did non-traditional approaches of HIV and sexual health awareness for young people and even adults who might have an impact on young people's lives. So we took advantage of our partnerships with our local barbershops, hair salons, beauty supply stores. So we found 5 different businesses which happen to be Black owned. So we were also pouring into the Black owned businesses, along with educating not only the business but the people who might come in for that. So we did HIV testing, provided hair products, free giveaways from we did $50 Walmart gift cards in exchange for education. As well as we have free food. So we worked with a local Black owned food truck, Wing Box, who provided our food. And it was just a great collaboration with barbershops, beauty supply stores, just to make HIV a non-stigmatized topic because there's so many stigma on HIV, and a lot of times it just takes the time of, I mean, all it takes is education to be like, okay, we're not in 1985 or we're not in 2000. HIV looks totally different from what it was back in those times. There's helpful education, there is great treatment, there are so many resources, support that helps helps people who are living with HIV live a normal, healthy life. And a lot of times I tell people, people who are living with HIV typically are more healthier than their other counterpart of and within the Black community, because at least now they're going to their doctor's appointments. And we know within Black and health, we sometimes have a barrier with staying on care for just even my primary care doctors. So it's just pouring in education, because we have so much stigma on it, especially within the Black community, that it's like we have to reprogram our minds to be like, okay, this is just as important as me going to go get a haircut. So that was our approach. It's like haircut is important, but also our health is important, and let's mesh them together. And that's where it came.
I love that. Meeting them where they at. They in the hair salon, the barbershop. We in there.
And we talk about everything at the barbershop or hair salon. So why not?
Anyway, right.
Absolutely.
Darius, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Queen, I just like to say, and I've said this many times before, that what I ultimately want to see with the EHE effort here in Pinellas, we want to see a decrease in the number of new cases, a decrease and ultimately an eradication of new cases in HIV. In 2022, we have the ability to prevent new cases. We have the ability for anyone who has an HIV diagnosis to be into care. It doesn't matter if you have health insurance or not. It doesn't matter if you have an income or not. Even if you're unstable in your housing, that does not prevent treatment. There are options, there are programs that we have where we can get anybody into care who desires it. Specifically, I want to see the change, as I often call it, in throughout our county, but specifically in the city of St. Petersburg, in the zip codes of 33701, 33705. 33711, 33712, and 33713, where so many of the cases in the county reside. We are partnering with great organizations like USF Peds and the community at large to bring the change that we want to see. And I've said this before, change is never easy, but it's necessary. And for anyone who wants more information about the Pinellas EHE effort, they can visit www.pinellasEHE.org.
That's right. And real quick, Bernard and Darius, we've talked so many times, and I'm always struck by how passionate you are about serving the community. Where does that come from?
I think the kids are my passion. Seeing they are our future, so why not invest and pour into our future, because they need it. We're in tough times all across the board, so why not pour in that time, that energy? And I see the outcome of me taking the time just to have a simple conversation that maybe their parents are too afraid to have, or might judge them for their lifestyle or this and that. It's just, I was once a kid, so I know sometimes the struggle as a kid wanting to talk about different things. And that's my passion, just being able to be a voice for the quiet ones, being a voice for the ones who are afraid to have that conversation, that tough conversation. So that's where my passion comes from.
So my passion comes, one of my best friends lives with HIV, and my passion comes from the perspective that he and so many others could have been me. I come from the perspective that I am not perfect, that I have done things, that I have lived a life where I could have and probably should have been a person living with HIV. And so for me, it's very personal because I've seen it. I've lost people. I have friends who live with the virus and are living successfully. And so that's where my passion comes from. I recognize that, honestly, if it were not just for just favor, that it could be me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you both for doing all that you do. And thank you so much for inviting me to partner with you to help get the word out that there are options. Like you said, there is help available, and all you got to do is get at you. That's it. Again,
That's it.
visit www.pinellas.ehe.org.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Darius.
Thank you.
Thank you, Queen.